I'm Mike Sharpe. I'm Operations Manager for Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions, and we're the only company that flies into the interior of Antarctica. So we fly from southern Chile with a 4-engine jet and land passengers, 50 at a time, at a nice runway in the interior of Antarctica at about 80 degrees south, which is probably 1,000 kilometres from the South Pole, but also 1,000 kilometres from the coast. Most of the scientific stations are based around the coast of Antarctica, and that's because they could easily put a ship in and unload major supplies. Most of the tourism for Antarctica is really ship-borne tourism along the easily accessible bits of the coast, which is basically the Antarctic Peninsula, which works up towards Chile. We're slightly different in that we do go interior. We do about 250 people a year, and they're mainly expeditions, a few casual geography teachers, and they're mainly expeditions to climb either the highest mountain or to walk to the South Pole or to ski to the South Pole. A few people actually fly to the South Pole just to visit it. I've been involved in Antarctica since 1976, and in those days there was one or maybe just two small cruise ships which each had 100 passengers in the Antarctic Peninsula, and I'd say now we're seeing ships that we're seeing a lot of ships, maybe 15 at 100 passengers. We're seeing 2 or 3 at 500 passengers, and they're also talking about there's one going to come down next season which may have 2,000 passengers. All the small ships do land in the morning and in the afternoon, and most of the landing sites have 100 people in the morning and 100 people in the afternoon, and they're completely and absolutely pristine. They have had studies looking at penguin colonies, and they find that actually the skuas, who are the scavengers, are impacted because the people stay fairly well away from the penguins, maybe I think it's meant to be 6 metres or 10 metres, but the skuas stay further away from the people. So when there are people there, the penguins are fairly happy, but the skuas don't come and steal the eggs. So it may be slightly beneficial to the breeding habits of the penguins having people, but not quite so beneficial to skuas. I think the real danger is, though, that the ships are not double-hulled. Every now and again they do run aground, and at some stage there will be a big fuel issue in the ocean. You've got to consider Antarctica as the size of North America, and that there are probably 2,000 people, no, maybe 6,000 people there in the summer, and 500 there in the winter. So the scientific stations would make their own little mess at their own patch, but in the overall effect it made very little difference. If there is something that really does do damage, then I think the international governments will clamp down.